Aloha guys. So now I'm going to show you how to part out your gutted, defeathered chicken. So first I'm just going to go ahead and cut into the skin right here. Just to help separate the thigh. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. Just cut right into that skin. Just cutting skin right now. Alright, then I'm going to flip it over and I just kind of give those legs a little pop there. Pop this joint out of the socket here. I hold it up and I take my, let me just get rid of the skin here so you can see. Okay, so hold it up and you want to just take your knife right down along here, kind of work it in that joint so you're not cutting through bone. There you go, there's one leg, flip it around, do the same thing on this side. There's that extra skin for this one. Let's cut it off so you guys have a clear view of where I'm going with my knife. We're going to go right along here. I think I should have sharpened my knife for this video.
I just sharpened mine. Do you want it?
Yeah, that'd be great. That's no problem sawing instead of... Thank you.
Give me yours and I'll give it a sharpen. It doesn't go away though.
Alright, it's definitely key to have a sharp knife. That way you can cut through things rather than hacking and sawing away. There we go. See? Sharp knife makes all the difference. Alright, so now we're going to cut the wings off here. So what I like to do is I just like to run my knife on either side to give the skin a cut, just so I can see into the joint area. So I just gently cut around and kind of hold it up, let gravity help you separate those muscles and bones. And once you get in there, it comes right off. Do the same thing on the other side, just kind of cut down in there. Cut on either side so you can see down into the joint. Cut again. And just bring your knife up and through. Alright, so our legs and thighs are off, our wings are off. We're going to flip it around and do the breast now. We don't store our breasts with skin on. That's just how we prefer it. You might prefer to keep it on, and that's fine. So we're just going to peel it back. Alright, so we're we're going to take our knife and we're going to run it right along this fat line that you can see. It kind of outlines right where your knife needs to go. We're going to try to keep it as close to the bones as possible so we don't waste any meat. Alright, now I'm going to flip it and I'm going to work from the top side. And sometimes laying a towel down helps with the slipperiness because you do not want to cut yourself. Alright, so I'm just going to run my knife right along that line. And go back and work. I like to work from either side. It just helps me kind of get as much meat off. But you'll find everybody has their own way, what works for them. It's not wrong. Want to cut right along the wishbone here, and there's your first breast. All right, now we're going to do the tenderloin. We left that part on there, so same thing. You can work from either side you feel comfortable with, and just gentle knife strokes to separate that tenderloin off of there. Alright, and there's the tenderloin. Flip it over, we're going to work this breast off now. Again, I'm just going to run my knife along this fat line here. Sometimes it helps if you kind of work your finger in there, helps separate the meat from the carcass. Just gentle knife strokes. Make sure you're not getting anything in there that you don't want. Work my finger in here to separate the breast from the tenderloin a little bit. Just give that a little extra cut here. There we go. And we'll cut right along the wishbone area. We have some skin still attached, so we'll just get that a nice little tug off there. There you go, you have your second breast. Now we're going to do our second tenderloin. Same thing again, just run your knife gently along here, separate as you go. Cut into it a little bit, but that's okay. There's your second tenderloin. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the meat, or I'm sorry, not the meat, the skin from this carcass, just because we're going to boil these down to make chicken stock. There we go. And then I'm going to go through and kind of clean up the little bit of meat that I left on here. we're gonna put that aside. When we store it, we use it for like soups, or I just sometimes make like chicken pot pie with it. And the back has, show you on the other side here, since I already cut that side off. So right here, the back has a pretty decent sized muscle. You just want to kind of give your knife a little run through there. It comes right off. It's a pretty substantial amount of chicken there. And we just like to cut the little bit of breast meat that we left on here. There we go. Okay, so we'll set this aside for our broth. Now I'm gonna go ahead and separate out the legs and the thighs. That's how we prefer to store them. You can store them as leg quarters, whatever really you prefer. So if you turn it over, you can see like there's another fat line that you can follow to find the joint. As long as you get right in that joint, it'll cut really nicely. Make sure you have a good hold of it so you don't cut yourself. There we go. Again, just want to cut right in here, flip it over. Go. So we got 2 thighs, 2 legs, 2 breasts, 2 tenderloins, our scrap meat, and then we also have our wings, which I like to take the wing tips off just for storage purposes. Sometimes these tend to cut holes in the bags. To break the joint a little, it just makes it easier to get work your knife in there. Sometimes it takes a minute to find it. There we go. Right up there. Alright, there you have it, your 2 wings. Now we're gonna put everything into an ice bath until we are ready to put it in bags for freezer storage.
Looks like a big one, Ma. Is it big?